Hello everyone. In this video, we will tell you about the programming mode in the Hyper app. This mode is a key working environment where we can use the commands available in this app to operate the robot and test it in practice. Let's start with the main window. In this area, we have the program structure where we add commands. Here, we can also rename our project. After we build the command, we can calculate a safe path. This button recalculates the program. Once you build the commands, you can calculate and run the simulation. The simulation starts with this slider. You can adjust the speed and watch the simulation. This main window is the control panel. Here you can move your robot, also, if you have a tool installed, you can move your tool as well. Let's start by adding commands. We can specify what commands exist in this app. The move command is necessary for us to set positions for our robot. We can also specify linear movements for the robot. We can set both predefined positions and custom ones. After you move your robot, you need to click Save. And your position will be saved. The next command is Pick. It is necessary for us to interact with parts, specifically to grab these parts. In this example, we will consider such a part. After we add the Pick command, we can tell the robot where to grab this part. Also, with this slider, we can instruct the robot to work with all parts at once. It will pick the parts one by one. We can also set strategies. Or we can set a custom strategy for how the robot will pick these parts. We can also set a pick point, which tells the robot how to grab this part. Or we can leave it as default. The app understands how to safely pick up the part. In the Pick tab, we can also manually move the robot's position relative to the part. In this tab, you can set the movement, the intermediate position, before the Pick command and after. You can also enable I/O command checks for inputs and outputs with the Select Checks button while they are being executed. Pick will be in waiting. The next tab is Save Move Distance. By default, you can use simple settings, which already work based on the specified parameters and should fit universally too. Your task. If you switch to the Subprogram tab, you can manually set it up using input and output commands and pauses. In this window, you can also configure robot positions and delete or add them, just like in this area. After you set up the pick command, you can add the place command. After you add this command, you need to choose the tray where your robot will place the parts. In this case, it will be the second table. Here, the single element slider is already off, and it sets the optimal trajectory. You can also set and draw your own trajectories. The settings here are similar, just like for pick. Next is the nailing command. This command is used for driving nails, and we will cover it in another lesson. Then we have the if command, where we can set conditions that we need. In this case, we can specify that if our first table becomes empty, the robot should go to the start position. With this command, the robot will move all parts from one table to another. Then it will simply return to the starting point and won't loop. The next command is I/O. It manages input and output. Here you can program the machine doors, when they should open, and set different actions for operation. The pause command. It is necessary to set a pause for the robot during a certain period of the simulation, maybe for some other mechanisms. And here you can specify how long this pause should last. And the last command, trajectory. With this command, you can import a trajectory from the ENCY app directly into the Hyper app. We will cover this in another video lesson. And that's all for the commands. You can also delete or group these commands if there are too many of them. And, for example, you can duplicate them. And you will have a bunch of commands gathered into one group.